Hey guys, welcome back to the FE exam review series where I cover the most common FE problems that you need to know to pass your FE exam. In today's video, we're going to do another math and statistics problem, specifically part B, calculus. Now let's dive in. Oh yeah, everybody now. So we are giving this function and we want to find the maximum value. Now what we're going to do in this video, we're going to actually solve for the maximum and the minimum value. So that way you guys know how to solve for both. Now let's go to the reference handbook and grab the equations. So if you guys go to the reference handbook under the math section, here you are going to see that they're giving us steps on how to determine if we have a maximum or a minimum. Okay. Now, this is usually known as the second derivative test. Now, I'm also going to walk you guys through the first derivative test at the end of this video. Now, let me walk you guys through these steps and just explain it a little bit more because it is a little bit confusing. So, to test for a maximum, what we usually do is take the function, right? We take the first derivative of the function, we equal it to 0, and that's going to give us the x or the a value. Right here, they call it x is equal to a. And then once we determine that value, then we take the second derivative of the function, and then we plug in the x into the function. If we get a negative value, that means we have a maximum. If we get a positive value, that means we have a minimum. Okay? So that's for the reference handbook. Now, we also created a cheat sheet that actually has these equations or these steps more clear. So here, what we have is usually to determine the maximum or the minimum value of a function, these are the steps that you need to take. So the first is take the derivative of the function, equal it to 0, and then solve for x. And then after that, we take the second derivative and when we plug in the x. If x is less than 0, then we have a maximum value. And if x is greater than 0, then we have a minimum value. But we're not done yet, right? This just tells us if we have a maximum or minimum. It doesn't really give us the maximum value, right? Now, to find the maximum and the minimum value, we got to make sure that we got to plug in the x to the original function. Okay, now if you guys haven't downloaded this cheat sheet yet, make sure that you guys do. I will leave the link above here. It has very important equations. Now with this information, why don't you guys go ahead and pause the video and then solve the problem and then come back to check out the solution, and make sure that you guys watch until the end so that I can show you how to do the first derivative test. Did you guys solve it? Let me know what you got in the comments below. Okay guys, so the first thing we gotta do is take the first derivative and then equal it to 0. Okay, so we're gonna have here y prime is gonna be equal to 4 times 3. So we're gonna bring the 3 down. That's gonna give us 12. And then we're gonna have x to the power of 2, right? Because we're gonna do 3 minus 1, that's gonna give us 2. Then we're gonna have plus, now 2 times 2, that's gonna give us 4x, and 2 minus 1, that's just gonna give us 1. So that's same as x. And then the derivative of x is gonna be 1. And then the derivative of 2 is going to be 0, right? Because the derivative of a constant is 0. Okay, now we found the first derivative. Now let's equal it to 0 and solve for x. To solve for x, it's easy. All you guys need to do is use your calculator. I use the i36X Pro. I really like this calculator. It's really easy to use. So if you are using same calculator as me, go ahead and hit second, and then you can hit cosine. So that's going to give you the polynomial solver, and then in there we're gonna have to enter the a value, b value, and c value. Okay, so the a value is gonna be equal to 12, right? Your b value is gonna be equal to 4, and then your c value is gonna be minus 1. Okay, so make sure that you guys enter those values, and then once you do, then you can just hit solve. And then if you guys do that, you're gonna get, so let me do this in a different color. So you're gonna get x1, it's gonna give you 1 over 6, and then you're gonna hit enter again to get the second value, which is gonna be equal to minus 1/2. So these 2 points are called critical points. Okay, now what are critical points? There are points in the graph where the slope is 0. Okay, and I'll talk more about this when we go over the first derivative test, and you guys will be able to see it. Okay, now the next thing we got to do is we got to plug in these critical points into the second derivative function, right? So let's find the second derivative. So we're going to do y and then second prime, and then 12 times 2, that's going to give us 24x, and then plus 4, and then the derivative of minus 1 is just going to be 0. Okay, now let's plug in our critical points so that way we can determine if we have a maximum or a minimum value, right? So we're going to do the y second prime of 1/6, and then the same thing of minus 1/2. So we're going to do 24 times 1/6, and then plus 4. This is going to give you guys 8. And then if we do the same thing with minus 1/2, and if you guys plug in these numbers in your calculator, you're going to get minus 8, okay? So what does this mean? So this is greater than 0. This is negative, is less than 0. That means that at 1/6, right, we're going to have a minimum value, okay? Now at minus 1/2, we're going to have a maximum value. Now we're not done yet, right guys? So we were just able to identify where do we have the minimum and where do we have the maximum, right? But we still need to find the maximum value and the minimum value. And to do that, now we have to plug in these numbers, the critical points, into our function, the original function, right? So let me write down here our original function. So we have y is equal to 4x to the power of 3 plus 2x squared, and then minus x, and then plus 2, okay? So now what we need to do is we need to plug in y of 1/6 and then y of minus 1/2. Well, for this problem, right, we only need to do this one because the problem asks for the maximum value. But since I told you guys, I'm going to show you how to solve for both. That way you guys are ready for your FE exam, okay? So again, this is easy. You're just going to plug in this in your calculator, right? You're going to do 4, and then you're going to replace x here, the x value, by 1/6, and then you're going to do the same thing with minus 1/2, okay? Now, if you guys do that, so for the y of minus 1/2, you're going to get 2.5. And then for the minimum value, you're going to get 1.91. Now, if we take a look at the multiple choice, the answer is going to be D. Now, let's go over the first derivative test, okay? So the way we do the first derivative test is that we just find the first derivative of the function, and then we find the critical points, just like we did earlier. And then we draw this line, okay? And then we go from minus infinity to infinity. Now, these 2 points are going to be our critical points. So here we're going to have minus 1/2, and then here we're going to have 1/6. And so what we usually do is we pick any number here between minus infinity to minus 1/2. So let's just do minus 1. So if we take minus 1 and we plug it in into our y prime equation, right? So let's do it together. So all we care about if it's going to come out to be a positive or a negative answer, okay? We don't really care about getting an actual number for it. So if we plug in here minus 1, so minus 1 squared, that's going to be a positive number, so we can have 12. And then here it's going to be minus 4, right? Because 4 times minus 1 and then minus 1, which is going to be 12 minus 5. So it's going to be a positive number because we have 12, it's a big number, minus smaller numbers. So we're going to have a positive number, okay? Now, we can do the same thing here. So we're going to pick a number between minus 1/2 and 1/6. The easiest one is 0, right? So if you plug in 0 here, this term is going to be 0. Same thing with this term. And then we're going to have minus 1, which means we're going to have a negative number, right? And then here we can, again, pick any number. 1 is really easy number to use. So we're going to do 12 times 1 squared. That's going to be 12, and then plus 4, right? This is going to stay positive, and then minus 1. So again, big number minus a small number, this is going to be positive, okay? So what does this mean, right? So it means here that we're going to have, so remember, this represents the first derivative, right? Now, if you guys remember from calculus, the derivative is what? Is the slope of the tangent line of the function, right? Of the original function. So that means here, we're going to have a positive slope, right? And then here we're going to have negative because it goes from positive to negative, okay? And then here we're going to have negative, and then it's going to go back to positive, all right? I can draw this better. Let me just actually do this better because I think there's a big gap between these 2 points. So it should look like this, okay? So this here is negative, and then this here, it's gonna be positive. So let's draw it like this, okay? So what this means is that at this point here, let me do a different color, okay? So here, at this point, it's going like this, right? That means we have a maximum here, okay? And then here, it goes from negative to positive. That means we have a minimum here, okay? Also, as I explained earlier, these points, if you guys remember, they're what? Critical points. And what are critical points? There are points where the slope is 0, right? You can see here that the slope is actually 0, right? At the critical point. So this is the first derivative test. What we did earlier, that's known as the second derivative test. I prefer the first derivative test because it actually helps us to see more of how the function is going to be, right? And then there's like, we can cover more concepts versus the second derivative test is just all about plugging the numbers and not really understanding the concept. And understanding the concept is very important when it comes to passing the FE exam, which takes me to the next thing. So if you guys are actually preparing for your FE exam right now, we have a big announcement. All our courses are on sale. So if you enjoyed this video, then you're gonna love our courses where we cover everything that you need to pass your FE exam. So go ahead and check it out. Take a look at the reviews, and you will see how many people have passed with us and have accomplished this goal. And if you want to be next and you want to pass your FE exam in the next 3 or 4 months, make sure to check out our courses while they're on sale. Now, before you go, make sure to check out this video here where I find the foci of an ellipse very important for the FE exam. And if you guys like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great week and I will see you on the next video. À la prochaine. Oh yeah, everybody now.